welcome everyone. Welcome to our first live Darwin session. Uh, Here we are going to discuss using Darwin to crack NEET PG. That is the topic of our first session, but we're going to cover a lot of things here. We are going to do these sessions every month going forward on topics that you care about. And how are we going to find out the topics you care about? You're going to tell us. My name is Arjun. I'm the co-founder here at MCUDB, and we are the creators of Darwin. My co-founder Gautam will also be joining us soon. So let's get started. Changing the slide here. Okay, so you must have seen that when we had the sign up for the session, we asked some questions. And these were some of the survey findings that I found interesting that I wanted to share with you. So the first one that you see on the top left there's almost 90% of the people who took the survey, and there were thousands, were preparing for NEET 2021. That's not surprising at this stage. There are just a few months to the examination. Then you see at the bottom here, 57% use PrepDNA for their preparation. That's a big enough number, but I would have expected it to be higher. PrepDNA is a very valuable feature. It tells you your weaknesses, and we'll talk more about it. Then you go, the next number, you see 38% in the middle. These people, 38% of the people who responded, practice and revise questions more than 4 hours per day. That is a pretty good number. And now you have to recognize that the people who responded to the survey might have been more active users. But in general, we expect that having more than 4 hours of preparation per day is particularly practicing and revising, and might not always be on Darwin, but we hope that it's on Darwin, is a useful number, right? Like try to have at least 4 hours of practice per day. Then these other two numbers that you see, 32% and 29%. 32% say that the top problem was planning my preparation. So we are planning to introduce a feature that will help you plan your preparation better. More on this later. Gautam is going to talk more about it. And then you see another 29% said, this was the second biggest number, that said that they want to evaluate where they stand and decide on the goal. So this got us thinking, and we are planning to introduce a diagnostic test feature that will help you diagnose where you are and get started on, and almost help you set your goal. Anyway, more on this later. So on today's session, what are we things we're going to talk about? And these were questions. We asked you the question that what are your top 2 questions, and there were many questions. I bucketed them into these 2 buckets: preparation strategy and using Darwin effectively. These were the common ones that many people were interested in. So under preparation strategy, you want to know what should be my preparation strategy. How do I know I'm preparing the right way? Okay, fine, I know my strategy, but how do I know I'm doing it the right way? So Gautam is going to talk a little more about that. How many questions to solve per day? This is another question that came up, which is also a part of the strategy. Now, using Darwin effectively is the second bucket. A part of that, many of you asked that, how do I use Darwin features like PrepDNA and bPrevision? Now, in this session, we might not be able to cover it all. We'll give you an overview of it, but we'll have another session on it. Then why does Darwin have so many questions, like almost 50,000? We can talk a little bit about that. There's a question of why should I be going, what are the advantages of premium? I'll talk a bit about that. Do you plan to introduce new features like flashcards in preparation planning? This is quite interesting, because definitely planning to do flashcards, and preparation planning will also come over time. So before I go deeper into some of those questions, I wanted to tell you why Darwin exists. So we started this company about 4+ years back, and so right from the start, this has been our vision. What's Darwin's purpose is to help every hardworking student be successful. And the reason we made this our goal or our vision was because we knew we were hardworking students ourselves. Like Gautam and I both went to IIT Bombay together many years back. And we realized that being a hardworking student is very important to be successful in these examinations like NEET. You need to work hard, but that's not enough. There is one more thing. You need to have the right way to prepare. And there are many elements of what is the right way to prepare. And that's why we created Darwin. Darwin has all the elements that will help you prepare much better. And let's go into some of these elements. The first of it, like this, is very close to my heart because I see so many hardworking students who will be ready to work hard, but they spend a lot more time just reading notes or doing lectures or just doing videos, and they just stop there and they feel that they've accomplished a lot because they just did that. But that's not the case. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about that. What you see on the horizontal over here is knowledge. You need knowledge, right? Like you need to increase your knowledge. Unless you know the basics, you cannot achieve anything. But on the vertical over here is the skill to get the multiple choice questions of a topic right. Now that is a skill that you develop with practice. What we are showing in the chart over here is every time, like what that red dot is where you start. You start there, and after your notes, classes, videos, reading your NCERT books, that is about 10% of your effort. And that helps you improve your knowledge a ton, but it will not take you up the skill level of solving questions. And solving questions right is all about practice. And it is not just any ordinary practice that if you just practice a lot and if you practice, for example, questions of your favorite topics all the time, that's not as useful. There's a special kind of practice called deliberate practice, which I'll talk a little more about later. But the central part over there is a feedback loop to check where you're going wrong and improve on it. Always act on what your weak areas are, the mistakes you're making. And that's the core of what Darwin helps you achieve. Now, this is a quote by Anders Ericsson. This is one of Gotham and my favorite authors. He wrote this book called Peak. He's one of the top researchers. He's actually the foremost researcher of who has worked in the field of practice and what leads to expertise. So what he says, and these two sentences highlight everything that you need to be successful. You have to get out of your comfort zone, but do it in a very focused way. It's not, don't just push yourself hard, do it in a focused way with very clear goals, a plan for reaching these goals, and a way to monitor your progress. Okay? And, oh, by the way, you have to maintain your motivation throughout this journey. This captures everything that you need over here. So you need to push yourself, work hard, get out of your comfort zone, but have your goal in mind and practice in a focused way and make a plan to reach those goals and effectively monitor your progress throughout the journey and somehow manage to keep your motivation high, because without mental energy you can never be successful. So and Gotham will talk a lot more about this, but I wanted to tell you what it's all about. It's in this simple diagram. You have to practice, okay? If you don't practice questions, you'll get nowhere. Practicing is not enough. You have to check places where you went wrong. Whenever you make a mistake, go and figure out why I made that mistake. Slow down, think about your mistakes, and that is what will help you be successful. And then work on improving. This thing, if you practice, check where you're going wrong, improve on it, and go back to this loop of doing practice and do regular revisions in this process. practice revision cycles with a check in the middle. That's how you are successful. This feedback loop, unless you follow this feedback loop method, all practice is waste. I see all of these people who take tests, they see their score, and they come back and take another test, they see their score. You're not improving unless you check and improve on your mistakes. I cannot emphasize this enough. This is the core of what we do. Also, very important in this is, what do you practice? Right? Deciding what you practice. If you just practice on things that you're already very good at, it doesn't help. But how do you figure out what are your weaknesses? And that's where our prep DNA comes in. This is an example of topics in biology, and I have, it doesn't show in on Darwin. You won't see it like this. You will in Darwin. You'll actually see one at a time, and you can scroll, right? Like you can. This I've put the entire biology topics over here, but you see for this particular student, there is this whole section of red, orange, and light orange. These are this person's weakest topics, while at the bottom on the right there are all of these greens. So what's important is for this person is to not focus as much on plant physiology or all of these other topics at green over here. It is more important to do things like animal kingdom, where this person is weak. And so, you have directly, thanks to Prep DNA, Prep DNA has technology to figure out what exactly is your weakest. And it is not just based on simple mistakes. We also see what is the difficulty of questions and where there's a lot of technology that goes into this. But you just trust Prep DNA and it will help you save on your most valuable resource at this time, which is your time. So focus on your weaknesses, because that's what this is about. Now, there are many questions that came up as like, what's the difference between Darwin's free access and premium access? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So Darwin free access. Now, Darwin gives you a lot for free, and people always talk to us about that because that has always been our social goal. We want to make sure, for example, we give free daily tests and they are going to be free forever. So if you want to come practice tests, you can just come and practice for free, and this is our guarantee, it will always be free. We give you 30% of questions by topic free, which means that there are about 50,000 questions on Darwin right now. You will get 15,000 questions for free on Darwin. That's more than any book gives you, and it's here for free for you, even if you are not a premium member. Subject level Prep DNA, you can see at the subject level, just looking at the colors, you can see what part of the subject, which subjects are you weakest at. Daily revision, whenever you make mistakes in the last 3 days, we will give you a revision of just the mistakes you made. If you clear off the backlog of the mistakes you have made in the last 3 days, it is the best way to improve yourself. So my guarantee is, like, anyone who uses Darwin's free access has already got an edge, and these are going to be features that are going to be free forever. Premium, just in a nutshell, gives you a lot more. So first of all, currently there are some things that are current and there are some things that are coming up. In the current features, you've got full access. That is, you get free, while free gets 30%, you get full access to all close to 50,000 questions. And why is that important? There's this question that comes up like, why can I even do 50,000 questions? You might not need to do 50,000 questions. You saw I showed you earlier, Prep DNA. There might be 30% of the topics in which you are the weakest. You have to do a lot more practice over there. But the other places where you're green, dark green, where you have done well, you don't have to do all the questions over there because you're already strong enough. Practice things over there, do some revision over there, but you don't have to do all the questions there. The important thing, the reason you need access to a lot of questions is to particularly focus on your weak areas and keep doing those questions till you improve yourself. Okay. Prep DNA by topic, what I showed you as an example for biology, you get to pinpoint your weaknesses at the topic level. You need to have access to premium. We have deep revision and bookmark revision. These are strong features that we will cover in one of our later sessions. And we have advanced filters. So if you want to exclude things like assertion reasoning, by the way, I feel that doing assertion reasoning questions makes you gauge on your understanding very well, even though they are not asked in NEET. So you should still do them. But if you want to avoid those, or if you want to just practice by NEET or just practice by AIMS, several filters like that, these advanced filters are available for premium. What's coming up in Feb 2021, that is within a few weeks, is first we're going to have NCERT biology flashcards. So the most important concept and every image, every figure in NCERT textbook with the labelings hidden is going to be available for you in the form of a flashcard. This is going to be your best way to learn about biology, right? It's not going to be the 100% coverage of NCERT, but it's going to be the most important pieces of NCERT in the form of biology flashcards. So this we feel will really advantage. This is going to be only available for premium. The second thing is we are starting subtopic practice and prep DNA. So right now we have got like close to 20 something topic in each of biology, physics, and chemistry. Uh, each one of the topics have got at least 6 to 7 subtopics. And many of you had asked that you need availability of subtopic level so that you can pinpoint now your weaknesses right down to the subtopic level. And that's going to be just practicing and seeing prep DNA by subtopic level is going to be available only for premium members. And all this, I believe, gives you an unfair advantage. And so it's definitely worth considering. So at the end, I wanted to just leave you, before I hand you to Gotham, I wanted to tell you about one thing that's most important at this stage is to keep your motivation level high. Trust yourself. Trust yourself, because that will be the only way for you to be successful. So first of all, you got to focus your energy. Success will not come to you if you do not focus, or if you start hedging, or if you do not commit to a specific thing. So you have to commit to a goal. Like if you decided on NEET, commit to that. Don't think that, okay, maybe I'll drop and do it next year. It's the time is now. You've committed, focus your energy on it. You've committed to practicing on Darwin, practice on Darwin. Don't go to too many places. If you have chosen a source, just stick to it. If you have decided not to use Darwin, just use a source. I would strongly recommend you use Darwin, but my point to you is that commit to a place, commit to an app, or commit to particular sources and just stick to that. Second is avoid self-doubt. Whenever you have a doubt in your mind, get rid of it as quickly as possible, because there's nothing as negative as self-doubt at this stage. So a technique that I use is, whenever I have self-doubt, I just speak out the word doubt. And it's a cue to me to say that stop doubting yourself, because believe in yourself. And the only way to believe in yourself and do better is to keep acting. Stop overthinking, keep acting. And that's where the 5 seconds to action comes in. That whenever you start, sometimes you just feel paralyzed. You start thinking about, oh my goodness, there's so much topics left, there's so much to do, how am I going to do it? Just count 5 and think about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me do to the next right action. Get to action and do it. There is this Indian philosophy of karmanyavadikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Just believe in action. So with that, I'm going to leave you to Gautam, and he's going to tell you a ton of interesting ways on exactly what is our Darwin's method of preparation and how you can gain from it. Okay, over to Gautam.
Without knowing much of the subject. Literally because he had built a really good. Thank you, Arjun. So let me start by introducing myself. I'm Gautam. me and Arjun started MCQTB around 4.5 5 years back, and both of us, Arjun has already mentioned it, but both of us are IT graduates. We are working in US, and MCQTB is our social, literally our effort to help back students in India get better. As a full disclosure, we do not make any money out of MCQTB. It is a full social enterprise from our perspective. What we do there, we charge money just to make the service better, but our goal really is to make sure every hard-working student out there is getting selected. He's reaching his goals, right? What we see when I came through, what I see again, the education in India has become extremely expensive. It's normal right now for anyone to be spending upwards of 1 lakh, 2 lakhs just for preparation of NEET. And this is not easy for most of the students in India. Darwin is all about making sure you can get selected if you are really doing things the right way. We are here to help you get through it. So, to give you an idea what Darwin is all about, I'll just give you some examples here. When we built Darwin, our goal was simple. We need to build a machine learning system that can tell you what you're weak in, that can really help you, that can guide you. It's almost like a coach. To really say, focus on this thing, prepare this thing, do that thing. It's always there to make sure these are your weaknesses, and I can help you just focus on it and improve every single day. We are really improving Darwin as we speak. We are bringing in flashcards. We are doing a bunch of things. Really, what we are really trying to do here is to build a platform for you that as you start preparing, as you start using, it will get you to a place where, for example, in biology, you are pretty much guaranteed to score 90+%. That is the kind of technology we are building right now. If it comes down to physics, the same kind of thing. We are putting our questions in the right order so that as you prepare for physics, we know exactly what's weak, how to help you, how to give you second chances in question practice so that you learn. It's not just about practicing. In fact, it's all about learning. Looking at your mistakes and then correcting them on a daily basis. And by the way, all the things that we are trying to do here is very different than what anyone else has done out there. And I'll tell you the big problems that are out there and how we are trying to address them. So we'll just go through it one by one. So the first thing that we have seen is many students, in fact everyone out there, is trying to prepare. And when I say prepare, what they are really doing is attending lectures or watching videos, reading notes, maybe going through books, and that's it. When they do all these things, then they don't even know what they have learned and what they have not learned. In fact, you guys are out here. I'll give you a challenge right now. Go read any notes, any book, any videos, and then take MCQs on MCQTV. If biology is the subject that you love, just try it in there. If you're not getting more than 90% of biology questions correct right now, right after reading it, what's the guarantee that you will get more than 90% in exam? There is no guarantee. In fact, I'm saying you are not going to get it, which is true for more than 99% of students. Only top 1% are getting something like that. Maybe top 2%. So it's very difficult to do that. And most of the coaching institutes out there, most of the apps are just fooling you, do this, do that. The fact is, you are not improving. So MCQs is the most important piece of this preparation. Second thing is, even if when you are doing MCQs, there's no feedback. It's not telling you that you are weak in these subjects at a conceptual level, but you're really strong on concepts in this subject. And then all that you focus on is just making it much better on the other side. Third thing is, because even like we focus on MCQs like crazy, we want to put around 50,000 MCQs on Darwin. And the simple reason is simple. When you go through MCQs, you are building intuitions. Intuitions of not just what's going to come in exam, but you yourself will be able to create an exam. The other intuition is Even when you see a paper, you will be able to eliminate one or two options, even when you don't know the answer. In fact, we have a story, one of our really good friend, Bordia, he was so good at elimination, that he would not skip a single question. Even when he did not know it, he would score around 40-50% of marks without knowing much of the subject. Literally because he had built a really good intuition on how to eliminate options. Second thing that we always say is preparation is hard. It's not easy, it's hard. You are really competing with almost 13 lakh, 14 lakh students out there. For what? For 20,000 seats. That's it. Right? It's not easy. Everyone is working. If you are sitting alone and saying, okay, how much do I work? You have to work hard. But when people do work hard, it's taxing. And what do they do if I'm working hard? Rather than working on subjects that are going to stress my knowledge, that is going to make me feel weak, I will work on subjects that will make me feel strong. Just thinking because today I'm getting 70, 80, maybe 95% questions correct, I'll just get through. But who are you feeling, right? That's not the case. You have to figure out where you are weak, where you are getting only 50%, 60%, or maybe 40% questions correct, and focus on them, improve them. Second thing is irregular preparation hours. I just cannot overemphasize this. 95% of the students who are preparing are falling trap of this one. Above one is like 99% of students are focusing on things that they love, but there 95% of students are not preparing regularly. They will prepare one day, spend 7 hours, 6 hours a day just preparing for NEET. And right next day they are only preparing 1 or 2 hours, and on Sunday they want to just take off. Like this doesn't work out like that. Life is not like that. People like us are working 10, 12 hours a day, non-stop, 7 days a week. And you cannot even study 7 hours a day, 6 days a week. That is going to make your life. We are already settled, but for you it's a big deal. Regular preparation is the most important thing. Third thing is no motivation. Most people, if they are not able to score well, they are focusing on strong areas only, they are not being able to prepare consistently, motivation is lost. And that really kills the whole thing. Preparation is hard. Now, one of the final issues that we have with our current way of preparation is impossible. It's literally impossible to keep track of your mistakes. If you're reading notes, maybe you will underline with different colors. I used to do it, but the problem is when it comes to third revision, fourth revision, I only see what I know in the book. I'm not reading, in fact, really in the book or notes. I do not see anything extra. Nothing extra. I start missing the points out there. And these small points here and there will make up 8 to 10% of the final exam. In biology specifically, it doesn't work. If you want to score very well, you need a tool that will help you focus on those gaps that you are skipping there. No app does that. Only Darwin does it in NEET. Final thing is, when we are doing more and more revision, which most of us do, without knowing where we are weak, we are just wasting time. We are just reinforcing what we already know. Doesn't help. You need to learn what you don't know. That is the biggest problem out there. No one is solving it but Darwin, which is why we are pretty confident if you use Darwin to prepare for biology, you will get to a place like no one else in your study circle or in your friend circle is getting. So now let's just come down to the Darwin way of preparation, the Darwin plan. So what are we trying to do here when we say, okay, what goes behind the scenes? First thing we say is we need to increase your awareness. You need to be fully aware where you are, what your strengths are, what your weaknesses are. If you don't know where you are, you don't know what to focus on, how to make your weak areas strong. So that is what we do, and we do it through Prep DNA. Second thing is, what we focus on is we focus on time utilization. So I'll give you a simple example, very small thing that we do, and it makes changes day and night. We have something called daily revision. You know what? Why do we have it? Simple concept. We say whatever mistakes you made yesterday, revise it and remember it. And I can promise you that if you do daily revision every single day with a lot of questions on a practice time, every single mistake that you made, you will memorize it. And any question that you ever seen, if it comes in exam, you will get it correct. But what does it mean? It just means that over 92% questions that came in NEET 2020, if you did it properly, you would have solved it without even thinking about it, because all those questions came from Darwin itself. The final point is streamline the preparation. So what we are really trying to do right now is saying, we know how to help you improve your weaknesses. We know how to help you memorize things. We know how to help you correct your weaknesses. Let's just go over and streamline your preparation so that we are helping you at every step to guide you through those things. So that is one big thing we are doing. So now let's go over and see how it works out. So what we are saying really is you have to practice a lot. A lot means a lot. You have to almost prepare or practice 100 to 150 questions a day. Full stop. If you are not doing it, you are not serious. Second thing is every mistake you have made, every single mistake you have made during preparation, you have to correct every single thing. Third one is once you have your prep DNA ready, you are going to start focusing on weakness, not your strengths, your weakness. And then you are also spending time on revising every single day. So when you focus on your weakness, what we say is like, go open the books, go read the notes, really go deep in that area, topic by topic, practice it. But when we say revise daily, what we are saying is your strong topics, strong subjects that you have not touched for quite some time, revise them, devote some hours to it. At least do 60 questions, 100 questions, 70 questions in those areas on a daily basis. You don't want to lose touch with those areas. And these are the 4 pillars on which the whole methodology works. So let's go and see what does practice a lot means. If possible, this is saying 300 questions. It should not be 300, it's 150 questions. So what we are asking you to do is, you should be preparing 150 questions a day, every single day. When you are getting close to exams, like right now, so at this point of time, 300 questions a day. 300 questions that you are doing, it will be more like 100 to 200, in fact, really around 150 to 200 questions with biology, full stop. It doesn't take time. Going through 200 questions of biology will take you around 90 minutes or maybe 75 minutes, nothing more than that. Do that. 50 questions of physics, 50 questions of chemistry. That is what you are supposed to do every single day. Then what we want is when you are focusing on things, for example, I know I'm weak in a particular physics. Go through every single question, every single mistake that you made there, go and revise it. We are releasing a new feature called Second Chance right now. What it's going to do is, like, if you make a mistake, we'll say, okay, try it again. Think hard. The mistake that you made, that's wrong. Think hard again and see what you can do with it. And that is, you want to spend some time on it. Make sure you understand what's going wrong. And third thing is, the practice session is all about focusing on learning. You are spending time here. It will take time, but you spend time. Make sure every single mistake you have made, you have understood why did you make the mistake. Second thing that comes right after your deep practice, that's what we call, that's the workout that I'm talking about. In the workout section there, comes correct mistakes. This is in revision section, to be precise, under daily revision. So every single mistake that you made in those 300 questions yesterday, now is the time to correct all of them. If it's biology, remember, you correct your mistakes a few times, it will cement in your memory. If it's physics, the concepts that you did not get it right yesterday, again, we are giving you another chance today to fix them. Fix them, you are memorizing those concepts, not memorizing, but essentially more understanding those concepts. Then even if you're memorizing, that's fine, there are not too many questions. Once you go through them, you just memorize them. And NEET will most likely have a question very much like this. It will be pretty easy for you to go through it. Third thing is, if you do read daily revision properly, we promise you, not a single mistake that you have made will be left as a mistake when you get to the exam. We will make sure every single mistake is corrected and you remember it. Right? And by the way, what our ML model is doing behind the scenes is looking at how many mistakes are we making in an area, and we are learning that concept. So if you're making multiple mistakes in a given area, we are keeping track of it to help you in future sections that I'll talk about. Now, third thing that I said is master your weakness. So as you have practiced a lot, as you have made mistakes, what we have done is we have created your map of your strengths and weaknesses. And that is called Prep DNA. When you look at this Prep DNA, you just go over and focus on it hard. Make sure that you understand what you are weak in. Make sure what you understand what you're strong in. Go to the weak areas. Pick any one of them. Read notes. If you need help, get help. But do a lot of questions there. As many questions as you can possibly do there. This is what you want to spend a lot of time practicing, so that you just understand it. The more you practice, more you understand. It's as simple as that. You will make mistakes, but more and more you do it, the more and more revision kicks in, you'll remember it. Right? If you're making mistakes there, try hard to make sure you go through notes if possible, or go through explanations to correct them. It is important to focus on these areas and get any help that you can, so that you're improving solving questions one after another. We will try to give you more questions in the same area so that you improve, you practice a lot, you start building intuitions, you start understanding the concept, and you start correcting them more. But focus is to learn, and get better in these areas. Another final thing is, again, this thing comes from our revision section, which we call deep revision. Every single day, remember I said the fourth pillar is revision. So here what we want you to do is like revise. Pick any topic. Go pick any topic that you're strong in. Focus on the topics that you've not touched for quite some time. That's what we expect you to do. Pick that topic. Go through the questions fast. You don't have to really worry about it, because these are the stronger things that you have. Go through them fast. Make sure you are getting things right. You are paying enough attention. But we are also keeping a watch on it. Behind the scenes, our ML model is also learning. If there's something strong and you are slipping on it, we will flag it. We will tell you, you're slipping on it. Make sure go or do a proper practice on it. We will tell you that. Don't worry about those pieces. Take daily test. The daily test is a very important piece. It is really telling you where do you stand in the competition. Right now we don't have a lot of students taking daily tests, but still in hundreds right now. So even within 200, 300, maybe 500 students right now, when you see where you stand, you pretty much know what the result is going to be. No surprise, just take it. Plus, if you're taking it for a long period of time, you will see how you're improving. Even the subjects that you thought you have completed, but as you're revising, you will keep improving on it. So these are the 4 most important things that we say you do. Final thing that we are doing, we are calling it Learning Soon, is we are bringing up 2 more important features out there. One is called Effort DNA, the other one is called My Guide. As I said, there's so much out there to really manage what do you want to do, what should you not do, and all that kind of stuff. Effort DNA is going to tell you, whatever you are doing, are you doing it the right way? Have you spent the right amount of time on deep practice? Have you spent right amount of time on deep revision? Are you doing daily revisions or not? And are you doing daily tests or not? You see that if you sum everything up, it's over 100. But we expect to give you a rating out of 100, saying how good are you sticking to the plan. And we believe if you stick to this plan, there is no one who can get in your way. I'm telling you, no one who can get in your way. And this feature is going to be landing very, very soon. The next follow-up feature will be My Guide. This is the feature that will tell you what should you study next. This is your weakness. Pick one of these 3 topics. Focus on it for 2 days, 3 days, depending on how big it is. These are the topics that you have not touched in the longest file, so pick some of these guys today. And we are really going to tell you, literally almost create a menu for you on a daily basis to say, what should you do? How should you improve? And as long as you are following our guide, we will just make sure anything that you are weak in, We are making you focus on anything that you are strong in. We are just taking you through more and more revision. Fast revision, but more and more revision, so you just do not forget them. When the exam comes, using Darwin properly, you will be in the best position to crack the exam. And finally, as I say, no alternate to hard work. We expect you to solve at least 20,000 questions in 1 year. At least 20,000 questions. We will make sure you remember that. Other platforms have them, and what our goal is to make you memorize these many questions in a year. We expect you to prepare 5 to 7 hours a day. There's no escaping it, sadly, sorry. If you have to study 5 to 7 hours a day. And out of which, you have to study using Darwin at least 2 to 3 hours, if not more. And the reason is, we expect you to do lots and lots of practice. And Darwin is really tailored towards practice. To give you a story, I got really good rank in IIT-JEE. So did Arjun. And the other day, as we were talking about, and when we were going through some of our review questions, I was surprised that practice was so low in most of the students' agenda. At least I'll tell you about myself, I was hungry about practice. I would go and try to find books. I would try to find material that would challenge me. Every week, every other week, I would go to like old bookstores. I would go to talk to seniors. I'll go to talk to teachers saying, give me something that is not available widely. I want to study. I'm done with those books that you had given. I've made all the list of the good questions that I stumbled upon. I need more. And it was this practice that got me a really good rank. I hope you do the same thing. So I would really like to end it by saying, at Darwin, we are really with you. We are really here to guide you through your preparation, guide you through to your success, and honestly, we have nothing much to gain from you but the feeling that we are really helping a lot of students go through. We are helping them go through at every single economic ladder, at level of economic ladder. Right? That is our only goal, and I hope you use Darwin to the best way possible, and really practice crazily using Darwin. That's it. Arjun, do you want to add something more? Yeah, I'll hand it over to you. See you then. Bye.
Thanks, Gautam. Even I always end up learning something new every time Gautam speaks, and this has been the case even in the decades we've known each other. So, if you have lasted this long in this session, I request you to do one thing. Please subscribe to this channel. We will continue to make more video content, and hopefully more sessions like these are helpful for you. And remember that we are here for you always, and please let us know how we can be more helpful. I hope you can reach out to us and trust us to help you in whatever way we can. Good luck with your NEET preparation, and we'll be in touch.